Michael Lupica, an MSNBC contributor and a columnist for the New York Daily News. Elise Jordan, an MSNBC political analyst and columnist for Time Magazine, a former advisor to Senator Rand Paul. Elise, I really like talking to you on this topic because you're from the South. You're from Mississippi. This morning, I saw that the head of the Young Republicans from the state of Alabama, Jackie Curtis, she came out and said, politics aside, you have to put decency first. I cannot vote for Roy Moore. What's the president doing?
Well, I'm proud of the younger generation for showing leadership, and that's something that I've seen consistently in millennial focus groups that I have conducted over with Lord Ashcroft polls in the United States, is that younger voters are not as tolerant of the tribalism that says we're supposed to disregard our conscience. Donald Trump is speaking without any strategy. I see him going out and speaking on behalf of nothing but himself. He's thinking of himself at the end of the day. And his defense of Roy Moore, I'm interpreting, is a defense of Donald Trump when Donald Trump was himself accused of sexual misconduct.
But if he's thinking of himself, why would he put himself in the line of fire right now? Yes, he was being criticized for being silent, but he is getting slammed. But put away with the media is saying the risk he's taken putting himself out there, and he has now put the accusations against him in focus. I just want to share what he said yesterday because it is stunning. Listen to this. Not what he said yesterday, excuse me. This is Donald Trump, the words he used to defend himself, and then the words Roy Moore used to defend himself. It's stunning to me how similar they are. Watch this.
They brought up matters supposedly of a sexual impropriety, which never happened, never would have happened.
The stories are total fiction. They're 100% made up. They never happened. They never would happen.
They're basically using the same playbook at a time when the president and everyone else in power is encouraging women to speak out.
When you talked about more than 20 women have accused the president and Roy Moore, you come out of the banking business, so you understand statistics and probabilities. What are the odds that all 20 of these women are making these stories up? And for him to come out and essentially defend Roy Moore. And Stephanie, this is a guy who clearly looked at custody hearings and dance recitals as mixers. Back when
dance recitals where he had no family members. He had no reason to be. Let me tell you, my husband doesn't even want to go to dance recitals that our children are in. What would a grown man be doing at a teen dance recital?
But he's now thrown down with him. And this idea, well, he denies it. Okay, that sounded like Charlottesville. There's blame on many sides. No, there's not blame, and a denial is not enough. The wisdom on this comes from the Marx Brothers. You know, who are you going to believe, me or your lying eyes?
I find this, I mean, like, so who are the three people? It's Roy Moore, it's Steve Bannon, and it's Donald Trump, who are on a team together who thought this was a great idea. I mean, even Ivanka, the one person who I think the president never goes against, went outside the box for her and said, I have no reason not to believe the accusers.
Well, and now Doug Jones is raking in the fundraising dollars, and his ads are all over the airwaves in Alabama. And a key ad with Ivanka Trump saying that there is a special place in hell for those who abuse children, and also uses a quote, the ad uses a quote very effectively with Senator Richard Shelby and Senator Jeff Sessions saying that they believe the women. So you have that is the ad that the Democrats are weaponizing against Roy Moore and the Republican Party right now in Alabama.
All right, we're going to talk about a different story. Veteran broadcaster Charlie Rose, a legend, an icon, has been fired by CBS and his relationship with PBS and Bloomberg terminated, all less than 24 hours after he was accused of sexual misconduct with 8 women. Since then, more women have accused Rose of inappropriate behavior, including a former intern who told her story to NBC. Stephanie Gosk is with me now. Stephanie, for so many of us, I mean, Charlie is a good friend of mine, as is his producer, Yvette Vega. This is a stunning time. It's like two Charlies, someone we didn't know, an icon, a legend. And you sat there. You've watched Charlie Rose on TV for years. When you sat across from his accuser, what did you learn? What was going through your mind?
So this is an interesting story and pretty reflective of what we've already heard in the Washington Post. This is a woman, Sarah Gordon, who in 2002 wanted to intern on the Charlie Rose show. wanted to become a journalist, had a lot of respect for him, looked up to him. She got that internship, which was a prize internship at the time, joined them, and one of the things that she was asked to do one night was bring Charlie Rose his mail over to his apartment. And listen to what she said happened.
I knocked and he had said, "Come in." I proceeded to go into the living room and he said, "I want to show you this scene from this movie." And he said, "Have a seat, you know, relax." And he proceeded to turn on the film Secretary, which is a, you know, sexually involved film involving S&M, unfortunately. And he asked me, you know, how does this make you feel? You know, I'm, you know, jarring about, does it turn you on, and that kind of stuff.
Now, Gordon told us that he never touched her and she left feeling very uncomfortable. But consider this just for a moment. A young woman just out of school, wants this internship, is excited to be there, has a lot of respect for the business, thinks that she wants to get into the business. And this is one of her first experiences in that world. It's deflating. It's deflating to hear. It's deflating for me, being a journalist and working in TV news. This is tough stuff for all of us.
It's crushing. Listen, we've seen media analysts in the last day say, wow, look at the talent drain that's happened as a result of this. Men in journalism and media and entertainment. Think about all the women who could have had brilliant careers and their dreams and goals out the window when they experienced something like that. I want to bring my panel back, Michael and Elise. Michael, what is your take on all of this? I mean, what Sarah Gordon experienced, like the movie The Secretary is about a powerful man, you know, playing some sort of sexually abusive mind games with a young, beautiful woman.
Clearly, you all didn't buy into the president's theory what a special time this is for women in America yesterday. There's a pathology at work here that we see played out again and again and again with powerful men. And I don't know how to describe it except to say they want what they want when they want it. And I pointed this out to a friend of mine yesterday, male friend, and he said, and how they want it. And this has played out over a long time in a culture that got embedded in the system, especially in the world of the media, but any world that involves powerful men and young women who, as 70 said, were just looking to get a foot in the door. And then they step inside the door of an apartment like this and get an ugly look down the rabbit hole of what this world looks like.
One of the things that Sarah Gordon, sorry to interrupt you, one of the things that Sarah Gordon told us was that among the interns on the show, this had become a kind of joke. And think about the newsroom that we work in and the industries that you work in. If all of the interns know what's going on, what are the chances the rest of the staff isn't fully aware of what's going on? And is it a joke to them? Just that word, a joke, is deeply upsetting.
That's deeply upsetting, but also this idea that, you know, when you hear from some of these men, well, I thought maybe it was consensual. Thought it was consensual, yes. Maybe these young women didn't run out of the building screaming because these are their dream jobs. They're dying to be in this industry, and they simply don't know what to do. They're paralyzed. I need to turn, though, to John Conyers, because this story kills me. Longtime Democratic congressman, again, another senior citizen. The senior citizen factor blows my mind on this. Don't these old guys have anything better to do? Who has admitted to using, ready for this, taxpayer dollar from the state of Michigan. Remember Flint, Michigan, that still doesn't have clean water, from the congressional office to settle a dispute with a woman who had accused him of sexual misconduct. Conyers insists he did nothing wrong, but admits the settlement did happen. And today, his hometown paper, the Detroit Free Press, called on him to step down, writing, quote, even if Conyers could prove that he did not make inappropriate advances towards his former staffer, there's no defense for having used dollars from his congressional office to settle a claim. Elise Jordan, I turn to you.
Good for the Detroit Free Press for saying that he should resign. Why aren't Democratic leadership? Where are the cries from other Democrats saying this is insane that taxpayer dollars are going for these cover-ups?
Because those Democrats can't scream that, nor can Republicans, because the system is built to take this money from this fund. While Conyers may be morally corrupt that he took the money, the system is built that way. Many people voted for President Trump because they said, I'm sick of Washington. I want something else. This kind of congressional fund is the exact kind of thing people assumed this administration would find out about, tear up, and say, you got to be kidding me.
It's the old Al Pacino line from Injustice for All. You're out of order. You're all out of order. And the system isn't holding right now. You wonder why people in this country have less confidence in their government than ever before. You look at the case of poor old John Conyers, and I'm not saying that in any sympathy. He goes now. He goes. He has as much a place in the Congress of the United States as Judge Roy Moore does.
Michael, I say it's more than that, not just on John Conyers. Walk us through who set this fund up. Who else has used it? Why is it still in place?
Hush money.
Because taxpayer dollars should never go to something like this.
Right. It's hush money and a slush fund.
Stunning.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.